And we're back. Listen, this conversation here had me a little hot on the collar because it is a conversation that needs to be continuous first. And I'm glad you've given me the platform to allow us to continue the conversation. It needs to go further than just us talking on the platform. Once these lives are over, it needs to be a continuous conversation with the children, with the ex, with the current. It needs to be an open dialogue, a civil open dialogue. And the conversations that we're having now is something that I thank you for allowing us to put it out there. We need to elaborate, and we're going to elaborate on the alpha man, the beta man, the sigma man. I'm really not familiar with two of them. Or maybe I am, but I didn't realize what they were, how to categorize them. Yeah. I guess because my turn on is an alpha man.
Okay. So you turned on by both, an alpha and a sigma. Sigma is an introverted alpha, and an alpha is an extroverted alpha. So I go out of both, right? And a lot has to do with my profession. I'm in a profession that is a visible profession. I'm on the court. I'm talking to campers. I'm talking to professional athletes. I'm asked to speak in camps throughout the world. So that's the extroverted embodiment of masculinity, natural leader. When you go into a room, the energy tends to change. The energy goes up. People, you become somewhat of the de facto leader. It's been times I've been in facilities that I didn't own. And just my presence, people will walk up and be like, look, we got an issue in the bathroom. We got an issue with that. And I'm like, bro, I don't own this. Right. You got to go to the front desk and ask those questions. And that has to do with the my outward presence. Now, a sigma, right? And it's hard to say. So a sigma is like Jason Bourne. It's like Clint Eastwood. It's like James Bond. They don't have to be the center of attention. Smooth, debonair. I don't have to be the center of attention because I don't march to the drum of other people. I march to my own beat, right? And as an alpha, alphas do the same thing. Alphas have their own vision, their own road, but it's kind of the way they go about doing it. So for instance, P. Diddy is an alpha. Jay-Z is a sigma. Mm-hmm. The sigma 9 times out of 10 will always defeat the alpha.
Okay.
And the sigma can always get under the alpha skin because they don't submit to it because he appears to be, because he's quiet, he appears to be a beta until you bite the sigma. And then you realize that's a goddamn pit bull. Oh, the hell. God damn it. I ain't know you was no pit bull, boy. That's what it turns into, right? Okay. Damn line up in it. What the hell? Right. So when I say I'm in and out of that, I don't care about a lot of things. So for instance, my company was acquired about 6-7 months ago by another company, right? Everybody was asking like, what you gonna do with the name or whatever? B-Ball 101 exists. It's still a company. It's inside of this company, but the main company is gonna be Evolve Sports. I don't have name. Bank account matters to me, not the name. What does the name mean to me?
There you go.
You think the 7, 8, 9 billionaires created by Microsoft care that they name ain't on the billboard at Microsoft? Mm-hmm. Right? So that's more of that. The sigma I don't care about that stuff. Right? I have no issue edifying other people. I can get you, if you ever do an event with me, by the time you hit the stage, folks I don't care if I'm the keynote, you could be introducing and folks gonna be looking at you like, why she ain't doing the keynote address? Because that's how I edify other people. It doesn't reduce me to edify you. And my women who've been with me know that, right? Now, the only problem is, don't let that gas fool you. Don't get to the point where I gas you and then now you start to believe, I was this already. No, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the type of brother who I really do feel like I elevate everything. I want to see you win. So that's the alpha. Now the beta is the obvious one, the one that is more concerned with validation, concerned with going with the status quo. If you think about my post, right? I don't care what the group think believes. If you notice, it could be the most sensitive topic that could ruin me. And you're not going to make me believe something that I don't believe or doesn't add up to me in terms of the levels of logic. Certain shit is just not logical.
Yes.
Right? And so when I investigate, and I'm not one of those that my knee jerk, my visceral response is, no, hell no. No, I want to hear, give me the information. Let me hear more about this before. We're so used to this group think, right? We're so afraid to share our own opinions. That's why folks in private voted for Trump. That's why because you can't vote for somebody for something totally off the beat. It could be one tax credit that's going to change the lives of millions of your workers. And you could have voted for Trump simply for, oh man, but what about that? Man, once I get this money from Trump, I'll be able to empower this million. We don't have to even worry about that.
Yeah, it's not a direct impact otherwise, right?
You see what I'm saying, right? So we always subscribe to the group think. Betas subscribe to group think. Betas let the media tell them who's the best basketball player. They don't let their eyes do it. They don't cut the volume down on a game. They don't, you know, the media tell us who to believe are your leaders, right? Al Sharpton is my leader. You know, Jesse is my leader. You know, Oprah Winfrey is my leader. Man, none of those folks are my leader. You can't make me. I'm watching what they do.
Right.
So that's the difference in a beta. Now, here's the problem. Most women, when they start describing what they want, all they really want is a high earning beta.
Okay.
So they can control, so that they can move, that they can be the center of the universe. Let me tell you, everything, when you hear the list of what women want, it ain't nothing they really gonna be attracted to long term. When they talk about, you know, I want somebody to be home every night, somebody to cater to me, somebody gonna be this, somebody gonna be this. So after a second, you can be like, dude, you ain't got no bigger vision than me. Bro, you ain't got nothing in the world you want to leave other than just here every day with me. That's why women like, I want you to be home. I want you to work. No, I want you to be home, but I want you to work. That's why we go back and forth with that. In reality, you want a high earning beta, right? And usually you're not going to be attracted to someone. And again, I hope, because this will never come off clearly to a person that it triggers some emotional trauma about their past. But if you really understand it, man's center of his life is his vision. It's his purpose on this planet. Martin Luther King did not spend time with his family like that. Coretta knew he was married to his purpose that would ultimately be his death. They knew both going in, he would die in this movement. Could you imagine a modern woman? Goddamn, I mean, Martin, when we gonna get this done? I mean, every night you got a speech. Every night. Now I'm sure she's a woman. She had, Martin, I want you to be here. But his calling was greater than even his own life. So if he gonna put his life, he gonna put this movement before his life. You don't think he gonna put it before his wife? Does that mean he loved his wife any less? Well, let me tell you a real story. You know why the last 2 years of his life was different? Because when J. Edgar Hoover with COINTELPRO was surveilling Martin Luther King, he sent those tapes to Coretta Scott King. And once he did, he was all bets off. Now all bets off, right? Reparations, you know, damn Vietnam, give me my check, death sentence. That's why he's dead. Yeah. But at the end of that, that's how much he still loved her. But you're going to go mess with the woman I love, all bets off. I'm putting everything out there now, right? And so I keep thinking about our white counterparts. Every time I see a story of great ascension, great wealth building, I start to read, damn, failed 4 or 5 times, filed bankruptcy 5 times. Sam Walton, his original business, the predecessor to Walmart, he borrowed some money from his father-in-law. The landlord, he was making so much money that when it was time to renew the lease, the landlord took the business. He wouldn't renew the lease. He was like, why are we going to renew the lease? He got the business rolling and took the business. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Henry Ford, bankruptcy. All of these things. Could you imagine coming home every night and somebody saying, you really think a car? Everybody rides horses, man. You really think building this car is going to change? I think you need to be more realistic, baby. It's okay to fail, you fail, but why do we have to go again? You already done failed 5, 6 times. You read about these women holding down the fort, right? I'm sure they doubted. You done failed that many times. But his spirit was, no, we're going to make this happen. Women say they want that, but they don't really want it, Nicole. It is a price to pioneering. It's a price to building wealth. Mm-hmm. And most women aren't able to, why you gone? Why, you probably out doing this. You probably, no, baby, I'm trying to build a life. And if you can just, like Bernie Mac told his wife, you give me 5 years, 10 years to get this off, you ain't gonna never have to worry about a thing else. And she was like, all right, baby, you do your thing. Mm-hmm. I know someone out there who will do it, but we got to start thinking about this. So
that's an interesting take on it. I don't know if I would go through a lot of, depending on what the task at hand is. You're probably right. I don't know if I would do that for a long, drawn out period of time before I'm worn out on what I need. Because, we all have our needs or whatever the case may be. And it may even come off as selfish. So that's a different take on it. I don't know if I would go through the motions of being with the man in his dream for a long period of time if I felt like it was going to take away from the household. I may try to let me be a part of this with you type woman. I think that can work longer than me just letting him do what he's doing, because I'm a businesswoman by nature as well. I feel like that I can actually contribute something. So if you sit me aside or sit me on the shelf while you're trying to accomplish whatever goals, I might feel some type of way. I may not like that because I'm not using this. You're not allowing me to use the skills for the whole foundation and for this empire that you're building. But that is definitely an interesting take on it. Now, I do think that I am attracted to, now that you've broken it down, to a Sigma man. I like that as far as the description. What I think I would adhere to or what would turn me on, because I know I'm attracted to an alpha man. I just think that's by nature as well. But a Sigma man, that I had to write that down. Let me see here. Which way are we going with this? So knowing we got the Sigma man, the beta man, and the alpha man. Now knowing the 3 types of men that are out there, we have to figure out which is there a man that takes care of the home better than another? Can an alpha woman and a beta man coexist? Like, can those things work?
Yeah, a beta man definitely can exist with an alpha woman. Can an alpha and an alpha exist? It's going to be tough. Now, if that alpha can't relinquish the role. Now, here's the key: a real alpha, he ain't relinquishing the role.
Right.
So it's only going to be conflict. But what I had to learn in the past, where I had women who were alphas, the way I handled it could have been better. See, what you do, you use, and I don't even give these cheat codes, but it's some books that if women would read, it would give them greater insight on men, right? One of the things we as men have to do is to use our charm and our wit to diffuse situations. Throughout the years, when you're already under heavy pressure, heavy scrutiny, you worked all day, but we still have to have the control even after that long day, because remember, the woman wasn't with you through that long day. All she sees is you left, you came back. if she was with you the whole time, she was a fly on the wall, it would change her respect and love for you. She was like, man, this dude is doing it for the family. Like this, you know, but you know, in some of my previous relationships, you know, my marriage, it was a thought that I'm just out having fun. I love basketball. So I'm out every day. It's fucking heaven.
Right.
When I say I like sex, I like spaghetti, but damn, even every single day, all of it gets old.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Like I love it, but you still got to have a break from it every now and then for you to really see the value or have the love more passionate or whatever the case may be. So that's it. Alpha women, remember, if that alpha is the act that they had to assume, they have no problem going back into another role.
Right.
Those that were bred off of alpha masculinity ain't going back to that role. They feel they are on par with men, right? Now, let's get this, because it's already somebody jumping up and down. This dude getting on my nerves right now. Nicole, I don't know why you brought him on, because he arrogant. He already think he all that, you know, that's what I get, right?
Yeah, and that is so untrue.
That's what I get, right? But it's all good. When we talk about things being equal, women don't really want things to be equal.
No, I don't.
Nobody wants things to be equal. They want it to be fair. That's not the same thing. Right. The equality is just, let's go to an old school role, washing dishes. One is a more, you know, menial, it's a hard task. The other one is it's more busy work, but it's a task. They're both equal. They're both equal. It maintains the household.
Right. But
what happens is, in those roles, women are okay with, you go out there and clean the yard. I ain't finna be out of breaking my nails, blah, 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 blah. But now when we get to other roles, right? When we I don't know, we talk about, maybe the role of catering sometimes to your man, cooking, whatever the case may be, right? Why do I have to wait hand and foot? Like, why do I have to do this? A real man, if you really wanted, you would go out and do it. It's all of these definitions of real men, but I've never, ever heard the definition by a Black woman of what a real woman is. But the onus is on us. And we continue to preach about these double standards. All right, well, let's talk about it, right? It's a double standard. Women cheat or they're exiled. Men cheat, it's just one of those things, right? Okay, cool, that's fair. I go to family court, daddies are perceived as deadbeats, and mamas are the caregivers. That ain't fair.
That's true.
But I don't hear a lot of women lobbying for that to change, where the men should get their children.
Right.
See, we okay when those roles fit our needs.
Right. I was like, when it benefits us, yes.
Right. So that, we talk about politics all the time. We love the politics when it's in our favor. But we complain about politics when it's not in our favor. Yep. I ain't get the promotion at work because you got the job because your cousin knew the owner, and you skipped everybody in line. You forget about that politic piece, right? And we do the same in relationships. It needs to be fair, right? It needs to be fair. It doesn't always need to be equal. And that's why I love women. Back to that question I told my sons to ask, okay? How do you feel about infidelity? So anybody who's saying, oh, if a man can do it, I can do it, that's a man, right? No woman is going to devalue herself. Now, if we want to talk about real woman, it's going to devalue themselves because someone else is devaluing themselves. Right.
I totally agree. I agree.
Period. And we can go around, we can do this. Oh, y'all been doing it for years. So if it's been wrong for years, why is it right now for you? That doesn't make us say, oh, we better stop. You know what that makes us say? Chicks do it too. So we're gonna continue to do it. Now we got this vicious cycle of not having the discipline. All this is discipline. I done spent a large portion of my life, whatever, wanting to be, I'm the best that you'd ever had. I'm this, I'm that. that was only to feed my ego.
Right.
Right? Because it's gone. It's nothing that's tangible that you can hold on to. Right? Every day I get to feel I'm the best. And that act happened a year ago, 2 years ago. Right? Right? And it's fleeting. I want to see more men, even though I was an infidel at times, at the beginning of my marriage and things of that nature, I was. Things happened. I changed the course of my life. I left those childish games alone. Those are kids' games, discipline, control. This is what I keep saying about the Sigma, having that control. Everybody around here doing it, and it doesn't move you to do it, right? Real talk. I ain't never smoked weed in my life.
Yes.
Everybody, all my homeboys, 90% of them, have smoked weed. I don't criticize them for doing it, but I also haven't done it.
Right.
It's nothing you can do. It's no, oh man, when you go to prison, you gotta, you ain't around no women, so you gotta. No, boss. No, boss. No, I'm not doing that. No environment gonna make me do anything. And what we got is a bunch of people, because of their pain and trauma, becoming who they hate.
Yes.
I hate infidelity. I hate he cheated on me. I hate he hurt me, but I'm gonna go do it. It's crazy. So the beauty, what's sexier than having something that can't be penetrated? I don't care how bad somebody come up and this and that. No, my wife better than you anyway. Chick, what are you talking about?
Goodness. That is, I was having this conversation the other day. That to me says man or woman in the aspect to where no one can come in between, because infidelity, anybody can do it. I think it takes a real soul to not engage in flesh by the physical eye. So to know that a man can say, when it comes to me, oh, I'm good at home. I don't need that extra. That is beautiful, Dorian. Absolutely. That really is a beautiful thing, to know that your significant other puts you on that type of pedestal when you're not around. That means you're doing something right. And just out of conversation, knowing that someone can do that. Because in my mind, for the longest, I did, and I'm probably telling on myself, but for the longest, I questioned and said, it's not a matter of if my next significant other will cheat. It's a matter of when. In my mind, I'm just knowing it's going to happen because of the environment we are in. It's like, it's okay. It's a thing. So I never put myself on that pedestal to say I'm worth for a man to be loyal to me in that aspect.
But let me tell you, because it's levels to loyalty, right? Mm-hmm. Right. It's levels to loyalty. And I don't want to get down this rabbit hole of saying a woman cheating and a man cheating is different. But I think we all know the different levels to this. A man could have sex with somebody, right? Woman can say that, but just trust me. No. You're gonna catch some feelings, right? Mm-hmm. Right. And so again, I think that's a really deep, topic. That's a really deep topic about fidelity. That's one that actually we need to do a whole piece on fidelity. Right?
And we're gonna do that. So we're gonna table that. We're gonna table that conversation.
Yeah. But I do want I want to say this. Like, it is a matter to most people, it's a matter of when, based on what a man values, mm-hmm. right? If a man still values the ego, his ego, but the alpha will often play in the energy, because the energy keeps the alpha sharp, meaning you know when somebody's attracted to you, when they want you. And it's a way that even throughout my life, I can cut it on and off. I can make myself energy available. I can make my energy off. Well, women don't even approach me because they know, like, he don't even look like he gonna want to.
He don't want to be bothered today, right?
So I think it's a thing, because part of that sexual energy, passionate energy, is the thing that is also creative energy, is building energy, it's all the energy. You don't want to shed it off. You want to have discipline with it. right? You know where the line is crossed. You know where you're entering into dangerous territory. We know this, right? And the bottom line is to be able to say, you know what? No, I'm good, right? And look, I want to say one thing too, because this is important for I think women and men to understand, right? So I'm gonna use a credit analogy, right?
Okay.
So it's funny though, like women, doesn't matter the body count before they're in a relationship. Man, doesn't matter the body count before a relationship. But as soon as you get in a relationship, sex has value. Mm-hmm. And I'm always lost at this because it's so silly if you think about it. So basically, if you were a person who never paid your bills on time, ever, like ever. Nigga, you for whatever it is, the lowest you got it, and some epiphany. You watch Dave Ramsey, you talk to Nicole Spears, you read one of her books, and it's like, man, you gotta get your credit in order. Huh?
You call me by my old name. I had to correct you, Petite.
Nicole, I'm gonna say Petite. So I'm so used to seeing it.
I know. Can't see it. Wow.
All right. So you got reading one of your incredible books, and they say you need to get your credit right. You need to have this right before you meet a man. Da da da. And they say, you know what? I'm inspired. I'm going to start paying my bills on time. Mm-hmm. Then the next day, that person goes out and applies for a loan and gets turned down, and gets mad. What I said I was going to pay it yesterday, and I'm honest, and the person is saying like, I get it, baby, but you need a little bit more of a track record.
Right.
That's what everybody does before marriage. You have sex. Soon as time to get married, oh, sex is sacred. It's when you're married. If sex is sacred, it should be sacred, single, sacred in a relationship, sacred all the time. Mm-hmm. You follow them? So we miss these things. And so now we get into a relationship. And remember, y'all can have all kind of body counts and then go say, you know what? I mean, I was single. I was doing what I wanted to do. I was having fun, blah, blah, blah. It meant nothing, right? So your husband cheat and he say, man, the sex wasn't nothing. It can't be nothing now because you in this marriage, this bubble. Mm-hmm. But how did it get value now? Just because of the bubble, or does sex have value? So is it valuable or not valuable?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if they're cheating, then I think that's always an issue if you're doing that in the realms of a relationship. One, if I'm in a monogamous relationship with you, then there are a lot of things that I'm allowing us to partake in sexually if we are in a monogamous relationship. If you break outside of that and go out and go fishing somewhere else, I don't know what you're bringing home to me. So yeah, it is.
That's true. That's different.
Yeah. Okay.
Just put it in the context that everything's safe. Everybody doing what they're supposed to do in terms of that. Okay. Now let's talk from that level.
Well, I still think it's an issue because being a woman, I know women attach themselves typically sexually by mental state. So if he's being intimate, and I agree, men can go off and sleep with James, Veronica, and Keisha and not think much about it. But
no
now
Tiffany in there?
Veronica, huh?
No Tiffany in there?
Tiffany.
Tiffany always a good name.
We're going to throw all the names in there. But now these women now have an attachment to your significant other because mentally that's what we tend to do. So now you brought 3 or 4 other women into the relationship, even though you don't care. Now you've attached mentally these other women to you. That's a problem for me as a woman. So that's why, I mean, we can go on and on. That's another conversation too. We can go on why infidelity is such a big thing and why women forgive so much. I don't know what that's about or why we are like that, but why we forgive so much and men won't. Men, y'all, if I go sleep with Tank, well, I can't say Tank because he's doing some crazy things. If I go sleep with Idris, y'all done with me. Like
no, but you got to understand. Now, I don't know. Now, most alphas would be done, but it's always intent. The intent gets the blessing, right? If you going sleeping with somebody and you being disloyal, the act itself is only one level of disloyalty. But if you in there talking about, yeah, he ain't shit, I ain't gonna, he ain't worth a damn, and this, and you did, and he a good dude, and you just mad at him, you trying to sell yourself, elevate yourself. Let me keep it a buck from being on both sides of the game. Don't care nothing about you like that, right? When you're being that level of disloyal, ain't no coming back from that.
Yeah. Totally.
Now, if you made a mistake too, like a man made a mistake. So I'm telling you right now, if he was dating somebody, I'm gonna tell you right now how different this stuff can be. People want to just talk about the act, but you discover in my phone I was messing with somebody, right? And you went off of blah blah blah. You was like, well, how could you do this, and that? And I'm like, baby, motherfucker don't mean nothing to me. Mm-hmm. But then you go through my text messages, and all my messages was, I can't stand this B. I can't wait to be out. Me and you gonna be together. But
that's a total different, yeah.
Can't no woman ever lie and say she done had that in any text, because it's like, yo, I ain't leaving. I love my woman. I ain't leaving. I don't know what you think going on. Now, remember, what if you read the text messages and it says, are you a fool? Everything about my wife I love. This is part of my weakness. This is part of my issue. This ain't got nothing to do with her. Now you can forgive a little. It's different. Now you like, damn, he does love me. See, the reason we don't, but by the time a woman gets to that, they already disloyal. So now as somebody on here, oh, here you go. I'm explaining. I ain't the creator of it. Mm-hmm. I'm just explaining the game.
Right.
So you also got to know too, back to the original topic, women have to get away from believing that when they step out, because deep down they can say it's the belief that person potentially could be somebody in your realm. But what you don't realize is that once you step out, the man that you're stepping out with already has you in a box. Mm-hmm. You're never going to be a wife, like wifey material. So even though it feels like it at the moment, that he's really into you, he really loves your conversation, and he values you, go on, give it up and watch. Just like the bank, soon as he withdraws, he loses interest.
It's over with. Mm-hmm.
Just like the bank.
Okay. I'm taking it all in. I mean, I'm not trying to be anybody's,
neither one of them right.
Right.
Neither one of them right. So what people they're gonna take what I just said and say, oh, he trying to justify. It's no justification for either one. But I'm telling you how it, from an emotional standpoint, how the game works. Again, I ain't the architect of the game. I done played it a lot of times.
Yes. Okay. Listen, we are going to go ahead and wrap this up because time says we have to wrap this up. Look, you got to come back on the show.
Okay.
There is so much more we can talk about. I still believe that there's a lot of dialogue that needs to be had on bigger platforms. So you got to come back. So tell me now, big brother, you're coming back.
I know I'm coming back. I enjoy it. I just, I love talking to you. I don't care if we disagree, because we didn't disagree on many times.
We go toe to toe. People don't see those go toe to toe, but we go toe to toe.
But you respect where I'm coming from, and you have the ability. That's what I respect about you, is that you have the ability to say, you know what? Let me forget me for a second. Let me try this on as a person who hasn't experienced what I've experienced. You take yourself outside of yourself, and then you say, okay, I can get it. And then you can step back in and say, well, from my experience though, these are the things that have been the issue. So now you come on, you got me. Whenever
you've allowed me, more than anything, you have allowed me to process things differently based on conversations we've had years ago. You've allowed me to stop and process things from a different perspective. So that's pretty dope to me, because I usually wouldn't do that to nobody. But your dialogue and the way you have discussed things with me in the past It has allowed me to do that. And that's why you have to be the speaker, because you break things down, I think, in a form to where everybody can get it, and then once you get it, you can agree or disagree, but get it first. They're not just taking your words. So anyway, the time is looking at me like I'm crazy. You got to come back on the show. I so appreciate you for coming on today. Like I said, we got 2 parts now. So we're going to keep this conversation going later. Let everyone in the family, I said hello. And I love you, dude. Come back.
I love you too, sweetie. Love you. So thank you again.
Thank you. Peace.